That's why your dad left you when you were little.
Whoa! Who hurt you? What's going on? Why did you jump to that? What's up, y'all? Welcome and/or welcome back to my channel. I mean, honestly, at this point, it's basically welcome. It's been a minute. I'm sorry, but you know, we can talk about why I've been busy and all that stuff another time. I honestly just want to get straight into this video. It's been a minute. Let's just get into it, okay? Forgot to say, if you're new here, hope you stay tuned, fill out the vibes. You might want to subscribe, but I mean, that's up to you. You can wait till the end of the video, check it out, and see how you feel. I'm not gonna force you. But remember, if you do like this video, to like, comment on it, and just, you know, let me know what you're thinking. Let me know how you feel about this one. I know it might be a little controversial, but I'm ready for it. I'm here for it. So, I know this title is gonna throw y'all off, but please, before y'all get ready to be like,
Oh my gosh, she's a pick me. Woman hater, how dare she?
Just hear me out. Just wait till the end, and then like if you still feel that way, I can't change your mind. That's not my issue. I'm just here to spread what I think could be helpful and all that stuff. Let me just talk. Okay. Like I said before, y'all go around talking about some
Very feminist.
I don't want to hear it. Okay. I like, trust me when I tell you, I promise y'all the last thing I need right now is, or I'm craving, is validation from a man. Like, couldn't be farther from what is my truth. But I hope y'all will let me prove that to you with what I continue to say. So I'm someone who's always need to see both sides of the story before I can form an opinion or make a judgment. That's just how I am. I've always been like this. Blame it on my Libra Venus, I don't know, whatever, but I need multiple perspectives before I can be like, okay, this is how I feel. I don't like to just talk, you know, I don't like to just talk on my ass and just say whatever I think. One of my biggest pet peeves is people who just say things based off of nothing, based off of no research, no facts, no observation, just speaking based off of what they think. And I guess in a sense that's what we all do, but I try to come from a place of more what is the fucking word? More well-rounded perspective, you know what I mean? So I'm hoping that this video is actually going to be one of the first out of a new series that could be coming to this channel. And this series is what I'm going to call Consider the Source. I got that from a video of, I think, Alec Baldwin talking about his wife, because she was like either blackfishing or cultural appropriating something, and he was just like,
you got to consider the source. You have to consider the source.
and I was just like, okay. So it's been like a thing between me and my little sister because she put me onto that video. I'll put it in here if I find it. Honestly, as corny as it was when he said it, I do like to consider the source, and I like to think back and see like, okay, well, what caused this, blah, blah, blah. So I'm not a man, but recently I discovered that they do exist and they actually have like feelings. No, I'm playing. But like, truthfully, men have been kind of background characters for me, or like just side characters. Like I low-key be forgetting that y'all really are functional human beings. I mean, to the best of your ability, but we'll get into that. Recently, aka like 6 months ago, I saw this Twitter thread and it really had me thinking, and like I was like, damn, okay, I have to talk about this. It was written by a man. It was talking about why men have problems opening up, or they struggle to open up with people, specifically like women or whatever. I really wish I could find it. I tried so hard to find it. I don't know if it got deleted or what. I'm gonna trust my memory a little bit, and I'm gonna base this kind of off of what I remember from it, and then also just from my own perspective, observations, conversations I've had with people, just stuff like that, and just kind of bring this all in to form what this is about to be. Let's get into why I think men deserve better. Now, disclaimer, I do have to say, this is not me excusing a lot of the trash ass behavior that we witnessed recently of our whole lives.
Anyway, if a man reaches a certain level or a status or earns a certain amount of money, he should run around and fuck as many girls as he wants. Because
for men and women, part of those differences is mating strategy. So for women, they tend to be looking for quality. Men tend to be looking for quantity, because it makes more sense, evolutionarily speaking, for men to be able to hit it and quit it, ejaculate and evacuate.
Yeah, so like I said, not these people, because I'm watching these like literally what the fuck. But continuing on, I also think that that is the only way that we can actually progress as a society. If we just look at issues and we just, oh, I hate men are trash, that's not really accomplishing much. Most problems, honestly, if we were to look back at where they come from and the root of them and attack the root, that would probably solve a lot more than just singling out individuals and trying to make them out to be the monster when they're really a product of a system or a cycle that is monstrous. Let's just put that there. Find the problem, work on that, then we can work towards healing. And that's my big thing. I'm all about healing and trying to see the bigger picture and stuff like that. So for real, let's get into it. So to start off, I want to talk about some of the societal expectations that we have for men. I say we, this is general, I say that in all my videos. This is my opinion. Just please remember that. And I speak generally. I'm gonna say that a lot because I need y'all to remember I'm not speaking on behalf of every woman, every man, every person. Also, I recognize this video is a very binary men and women video, but this is just based off like, you know, how like the world has been functioning for the longest. But this could apply definitely, but much respect and love for everyone. So we have the classic men are the providers, the protectors, and then women are the emotional people, housework, all that stuff. I really do wish I knew where like this came from. I honestly probably could have researched that, but I was feeling kind of lazy. I'm just gonna blame capitalism because why wouldn't I blame capitalism for every issue we have? I'm sure if someone were to dig into it, they'd figure that out, but it's not gonna be me, I'm sorry. I feel like I've read about like a lot of civilizations that existed in the past where the workload was very split like evenly, or things that we consider to be masculine work was work that women were doing, like field work. But I just feel like this is something that has never been like the end all be all truth, and for some reason we try to... Oh my god. Was this hair on my mouth the whole fucking time, bro? What are you talking? Okay. Damn, what was I saying? I was talking about whatever. Yeah, women used to be doing labor. Men used to also be like, you know, being emotional people and taking care of kids or whatever. The point is, it wasn't just like so very split. Everyone was just kind of doing work, and I feel like that's the type of world we're trying to work back towards right now, which is what I really appreciate. But yeah, since this is the society that we're currently operating in, I'm speaking from this perspective. I also want to mention sexual expectations because that will come in later and I'll talk about that more. Men are free sexual beings and they can just do whatever they want and have casual sex and it not mean anything. Whereas again, attached to like the emotional part, women can't be sexually active without it having some more significant, deeper meaning, whereas men can. But back to the provider point, I want to say that I think one of the issues that we have today is that men have been expected to be like, you know, their worth has been based off of what they can bring to the table, what they can provide. It's not necessarily always about, oh, how much of an emotional caretaker can they be for me? It's how much of a financial, oh my god. It's more of how much of a, what the fuck? How much of a financial caretaker they can be, or like, you know, stuff like that. Materialistic things. So for example, like if you're interested in a woman, you might ask, oh, what are your interests? What are your hobbies? What do you like to do for fun? And again, this is very general. Please, if this is not you, I don't want you to...
That's not me, I don't care.
I know it's not you specifically. I'm saying for a majority, or at least what is reflected in media, because we have to also remember that there's a separation between what we see on the media and what is real life. That could be a whole different video, but we're letting it in. But like with the man, you might be more tempted to ask, oh, do you have a car? What do you do for work? How much are you earning? Stuff like that. And again, no, that's not what all women are interested in, and that even shows when like I see tweets like, oh, how come men are so boring and they lack so much substance, and like all these guys these days, they don't have anything to like actually bring besides blah blah blah. And I think that's good because again, that's showing that we're pushing more into a society where we are more like, okay, we want everyone to be well-rounded regardless of your gender. But I think that it's been harder for men to adjust to this new system of just being a person instead of basing your value and worth off of what you bring because of so much conditioning to be the way they are today. So my explanation for why that is the following. I think for the longest amount of time, men weren't really given the encouragement to actually seek out what their inner child wants or what they actually are passionate about, what they love, stuff like that. Or it's kind of expected to be within like gaming and sports. Now, obviously, we have a plethora of men who are successful in areas outside of that. For example, music, art, blah, blah, blah. But I would just like to argue, or at least I personally believe, it is more likely that a young boy growing up would be more encouraged to play with trucks, play with action figures that fight, do more violent things, or toss around the football outside, or like gaming, stuff like that, before they'd be encouraged to, you know, practice ballet, take art lessons, or stuff like that, you know what I mean? Just things that are societally deemed more masculine. And if they do express those interests in other areas, it might be seen as they're more feminine, they're gay. I genuinely feel like men are being raised at an early age to just already step into this role of provider. You're going to have this role of protector. So you need to like kind of figure it out fast, and it's not really a lot of room to be a child or to just be a human growing up in the world. This is going to be your role. Know it now and get ready for that quickly. And again, this might not be everyone's experience, but it's like, what are you going to do to put food on the table when you have your wife and kids? Heteronormative, whatever. But you know, like stuff like that. It's just like explicit or implicit duties that are put on to them from a young age. And it's like with all these things on their plate, no wonder they never had the time to develop emotional intelligence or just even emotional awareness. A lot of men have learned to emotionally suppress themselves very early on. Boys don't cry, or they've just completely turned off their ability to feel altogether and are just kind of going through life, going through the motions in a very emotionally distant way. And back to the boys don't cry. From what I've seen and heard, it seems like girls growing up were taught, oh, it's okay to feel, or like they're crying, you know, you console them, make them feel better, give them a lollipop, whatever. But again, with the guy, it's like, no, we're not doing that. Suck it up. Be a man. Have thick skin. Like, damn, I didn't know they were out here about to be turned into leather, but go off, I guess. Coming back to the sexual expectations for men, I've heard so many stories of men being assaulted at young ages and them either not recognizing it as sexual assault or dismissing it in a jokingly way and be like, nah, it's okay, because that's something that we see in media. We see every high school teenage boy or middle school boy wants to fuck their teacher or whatever, and it's like, okay, maybe that's not what needs to happen, you know? It's cool to have the babysitter try to flirt with them, and it's like, no, it's really not. Specifically, or especially when it's a woman too, because obviously boys can get harassed by men as well, grown men, but it's just that when it's like a woman specifically, that's when it's like, nah, it's supposed to be cool. And that shit is genuinely crazy and disgusting to me. And if a guy were to speak up about it, then it's like, oh, you're weak, or you're a pussy, or you must be gay, because why wouldn't you want a hot older woman's attention? And it's like, bruh, what makes you think that I'm 12 years old? That's what they're looking for. Who told you that? I don't know. So I forgot to make this point while I was recording, but before y'all be like, oh, clearly she doesn't know what she's talking about. See, because I'm a guy, and when I was 12, I actually was horny. That's not the point. I don't know if y'all know this or not, but girls get horny when they're in middle school too. It's just that it's not represented in the media as much. So then you get all this hypersexual activity in men, and then that also creates later issues with women sexuality later in life, but that's a whole different topic. To be clear, I know that middle schoolers in general get horny. That's not the point. Oh, actually, I do know. It's all the movies and TV. All the shade, all the tea. What 15-year-old doesn't want their 30-year-old hot Spanish teacher to be all up on them and take advantage of them? Is that not what we all want? Like, hashtag goals? Like, again, media just loves to portray men as just sex driven. No emotional substance. That's all they can focus on. Literally from the age of 13 and like to forever, really, you're just horny and that's it. And then they get married and settle down, have a life. Like, okay. okay, I guess. So that's what we're doing. I'm genuinely so tired of seeing this idea perpetuated so much. It's just corny. Like, I'm like, I really don't actually want to see this. Like, this is, I don't know, the classic, you know, we have to lose our virginity by 16 or by prom night and stuff like that. And granted, I guess the prom night one is a little bit more like applied to all genders or sexes, whatever. It's like, nah, like, you know, everyone wants to lose their virginity at prom. I don't know where the fuck that came from. Like, who's telling y'all this? It's perfectly fine to not. It's cool. Say no to sex kids. Nah, I'm playing. Obviously, do what you gotta do. Stay safe, you know what I mean? I'm not finna sit here and police y'all and tell y'all what to do with your bodies, but I just think we really do. You know what? This is a different video. Never mind. Anyways, or just like the massive crushes on the teacher, and then like the teacher kind of either plays into it and will flirt back with the student, or they're just completely oblivious and they're just like super nice to that student, but the whole time that student's like over there like fantasizing about them, and like, that's weird. Weird that the media feels that this is a message that they need to be telling. What is the message there? I don't know, but I am making a whole video about media and movies and just how trash shit is these days, but again, let's stay focused. I can't do that, but we'll try. Anyways, just bad all around. And again, further telling these guys that their only purpose is to have sex, get money, not care about anything else, and that's about it. Anyways, really, to conclude that part, it's like what it seems to be is just a cycle of fathers and men in general just bringing up the future generations of men into our classic, the favorite, the loved and most adored toxic masculinity. You feel me? And it's really hard to break yourself out of a cycle if you don't even know you're in it, or if you're in it but you just feel like it's a good beneficial cycle because it's either working for you up to this point, because again, you don't have that emotional intelligence to realize that you're not healthy, or whatever else the case may be, or that cycle even exists. So it's like a genuine, I don't even know like what I'm doing wrong, so how can I fix it, or why should I want to fix something, or like just ignorance, you know what I mean? And ignorance is not used in a condescending term when I say it right now. Everyone's ignorant about something. It just means you're uneducated about it, or you just don't know about it, and this is me putting you on. It's unfortunate because I feel like a lot of people might take this and be like, damn, this is really all just excuses or whatever, but genuinely, again, this is not the goal. Just trying to have a heart here, just trying to connect. I feel like humanity just needs a lot of that, a lot of more understanding, and I feel like we could progress. But again, off of the whole thick skin thing, I want to go back to that, and again, I want to say that I'm just speaking for the majority. Obviously, I know we have our kings out there who are aware and know their shit and are like on it and are either actively seeking help or have just been like, you know, from the jump, maybe we're raised in a place where everyone's allowed to feel, everyone's allowed to be, you know, human and exist. So, not talking to y'all, but they can often be emasculated for it. Lord, the amount of times I've heard, and it pisses me off because when I hear when women say this dumbass shit, I'm like, bruh, what are we fighting for? What is the goal here? Obviously, I get it. Like, you know, we're not all unanimously as a group of people trying to, like, we don't all have the same wants or interests, whatever. But when I hear people speaking as if they are talking on behalf of the majority, that bothers me. And I'm like, no, don't push that narrative out. Like, that's your own truth. But even then, some things I'm like, I don't think you truly believe that or you really agree. That's just something that you've probably heard and you're just spewing out. Because, like I said in other videos, I think people in this generation and every generation, honestly everyone, just needs to do a lot of inner work and self-reflection, because that's when you start to realize what you do believe in. I don't think anyone's thoughts really are ever 100% unique or individual. It's just about how you interpret them. People kind of hear things and just like, oh, that sounds right, and I'll just keep saying that, but you don't know the damage you're actually having on people when you do that. So just a little, I don't know, PSA, like, do their self-work. But anyways, yeah, I've heard women saying stuff like, men, if they talk about their feelings or if they actually give a shit about something, then they're pussy or they're gay. And I'm like, what do you mean? Who's telling you that? I don't know. I guess you could say you have a preference for the aggressive alpha male type, but alpha male, ew, I'm gonna throw up. But I don't believe you. I mean, I'm sorry, I can't say I don't believe you, but I don't. I kind of sort of maybe wanna hear you out, but I also have trouble believing that's genuinely from the bottom of your heart. Like, I remember I was working at Primark, and I remember I was like standing at the register, and there were two other girls that were like a couple registers down from me. One girl was saying to the other, I need a man who's gonna fight with me and like be aggressive and yell at me and put me in my place, because if you can't do that, then you're weak and you need to be able to be in control and stuff like that. I know there's the argument of women who like believe in being submissive to a man, stuff like that, and that's fine as long as it's like healthily done and, you know, it's done in a respectful way. That's not my philosophy. I really don't. That's not, no, I'm all set on that one. I want my partner to be very equal with me. Like, I don't want it to feel like there's ever an imbalance or you're in charge or I'm in charge. Like, nah, we both run into shit together. Again, that's a respectable opinion, just not mine. But to be sitting there talking about you want basically a violent, barbaric person, that's, I don't know, it's concerning. And I'm like, again, why are you perpetuating the idea of men should be aggressive, men should be violent, men should be this, da da da. No one has to be anything, first of all, but especially those. Those aren't positive traits. It's okay to be assertive, it's okay to be dominant naturally, but like, no, I don't want you to yell at me. I don't want you to put me in my place. I don't need to be put in my place. I feel like if you think like that, again, maybe do some inner work and think about why you feel like you need to be put in place in the first place. I've seen posts about it. If I find any, I'll like put them up here or something. But yeah, just I've seen some wild ass shit. And it's like, it's just unfair that we want men to be expressive. We want them to be emotional. We want them to be vulnerable. But then again, they're emasculated for it when they are, and it's like taken as a joke. Also, I want to say, on the topic of masculinity, as human beings, we all have masculine and feminine energy. So I'm really tired of people acting like if you are this, then you have to have these traits, or you have to, like, first of all, we are, like I said, we're expanding into a world where it's not so binary anymore. So for us to still even have these expectations, it's really giving, okay, boomer, like, grow up, bro. Like, let it go. We're in a different time. Like, shit's changing. And I feel like, I don't know, you have to be able to evolve or stay stuck in the past and leave people alone. Like, stop bringing your old ideas into this new place. Move on. Progress, please. For the people. For your people. For you. For me. For everyone. For yourself. Emotions are for humans. We're feeling people. We're feeling beings. And it's not just for people who identify as male. It's literally for us as a population. We all feel. Trying to pretend like you don't is not helping anyone. It's not helping yourself. Maybe for the short term, but eventually you'll realize it's not weak to feel. It's actually very indicative of how much of a strong person you are to be able to have that variety of feeling and not just be a stoic person with one constant mood. This is me speaking as someone who was very emotionally constipated for the longest amount of time, but I had to realize this shit was not working for me anymore, and I don't like living like this, so I changed it. It's as simple as that. And I understand that people won't do that until they're pushed to a point where they feel like they need to do that, but again, for your sake, for all of our sakes, please make that process move a little faster. Another thing is, it's just like throwing back in their face. I've said this before, throwing back emotions or like situations into someone's face after they've decided to be vulnerable with you and open up to you is one of the craziest, wildest, just most out of pocket things that you could ever do to someone. Like that's just wild to me. I don't know. Like, how could you sit there and look at someone who's trusted you with themselves and then just be like, oh, now I'm gonna bring it back up, like out of pocket, out of context, in a random occasion. Just wild that shit. And I have to say, it's especially fucked up when you're doing that to a man who, historically speaking, have been the ones who struggle the most with the expression and like vulnerability. It was already a process in the first place to get to that point, and then for you to just be like, well, let me throw this back.
That's why your dad left you when you were a
Whoa, who hurt you? What's going on? Why did you jump to that? Like, why didn't you take any other steps before that? Why didn't you just breathe, meditate, and be like, all right, let's get back to the argument? But nah, that ass, like, I didn't even just pull that on my, like, ass, because I remember seeing a Facebook post or something, and someone was saying this is why they don't trust people or why they don't open up and shit, because one time this guy was in an argument with his, like, ex, and then she was like, well, that's why your dad left you when you were young or something like that, and I'm like, damn. like, damn. Like, dude, when I tell you my jaw dropped, I was like, how could you? Genuinely, how could you? That's fucking crazy. The double standards when it comes to emotional abuse is crazy. Let's just say that. Let's just put that on the table right now. The way I feel like women think they can get away with saying a lot of reckless ass shit just because it's like, well, my feelings were hurt. Genuinely, like, we're all a bunch of broken ass people. Men, women, whatever. We're all emotionally hurt. We're all damaged in some way. I think it just, a lot of times, the manipulation and the craziness. Again, this is so fucking general. Please do not, please. I realize that this is not every woman out there, but the manipulation and all that stuff, those games will come from women. And it's like, damn, like, you didn't even have to do that. Like, you could have just not done that. You know what I mean? So again, we all need healing. Heal yourself before you get into a relationship, regardless of gender, because you're just gonna start hurting people the way you got hurt, or just passing on trauma, and just, again, continue the cycle. I'm not here for it. We're not here for it. Let's not do that. To conclude, I don't really have a solution. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to tell y'all, like, okay, treat men better, okay, but then I don't want y'all to take this video and go around with it and be like,
see, Rochelle said that since I'm a guy, I have the right to be a dickhead because I'm hurt.
That's not what I'm telling you. I'm telling you to work on yourself. I'm just saying that at this point, going back and forth, men saying that women ain't shit and women saying men ain't shit, it's not doing anything. We're just spreading out more hate into the world, and this is really not what we need at this point in time. With how things are going, there's a lot of that and enough of that already. We don't need to fuel that out with stupid, pointless arguments about who's not shit. If we're both not shit, let's just collectively decide we want to be shit. Well, not be shit, but be not shit. You know what I'm saying? Okay? Like, let's just all be good. Let's just all choose to be good people. It doesn't need to be this cycle of back and forth. I hate you, you hate me. We're not a big happy family. Let's just fucking fix it. Barney said it best. We really need to just start, like, trying to understand each other, like I said earlier, and just try to see where we can come at a connecting point where it's like, all right, what do we do next? What do we go from here? There's an issue here. I know that there's something wrong, but what do we do? This is not me saying this is a green light for y'all to go around being assholes to everyone. It is never a woman or another man, whoever you're with. It's never anyone else's job to be this, like, emotional punching bag where, like, you can just drop all your trauma and dump it all and just, like, project and be evil and then expect them to just stick it out and stick through it. That's not what anyone is here for. You are, again, in charge of your own healing, and you need to do what you got to do to make yourself a better person. You should not be compromising someone else's mental health to deal with yours. It's just not. No. This is coming from someone who did this for basically all my life, and finally at the age of, like, 19, maybe 18, was like, actually, I don't really fucking like this anymore. I think I'm gonna start, like, choosing myself, or, like, you know, deciding that I'm gonna put myself first and put my own comfort and my boundaries and stuff like that first. I get it, but also don't do that to yourself. Don't be that person to someone who is emotionally or mentally abusing you or just putting you in a state of constant stress. That's not how any relationship should be, whether platonic, romantic, whatever. You should be, like, gaining from each other consistently. Obviously, times will get tough. Things are going to be hard. I'm not saying leave the second someone yells at you or whatever, but you need to really be able to assess situations and decide what's best for you. The tools are out there and available. I can't sit here and say that y'all should be handheld and walk through the whole process while being a terrible person just because you've been hurt. We've all been hurt. But at some point, you take responsibility for your growth. Like I said, I saw the negative impacts that me being emotionally closed off was having on me interpersonally, you know, like, and I was just like, I don't want this anymore. So it took a lot and it took a long time, but at some point I was like, fuck, how do I get better? You know what I mean? But I also recognize that that is kind of a privilege I have as a woman, because me deciding to go seek therapy or go like confide in people, go try to seek help, that is more societally acceptable versus a man decides to go get therapy. I'm again, now like times are moving, it's not as bad, and we're actually encouraging it more. But let's say 5 years ago from today, like it would have been like, oh, what the fuck are you doing at therapy? Let's just ban that. Again, we're in a more mentally aware time in life right now where people are more encouraging you to focus on your mental health and realizing that it's just as important as physical health and stuff like that, which I'm so happy for. So yeah, just cut the stigma, especially for men. Do not be embarrassed. And another thing I guess we could do to help encourage men to like seek this help and to help this problem is support them. Don't embarrass them or make them feel embarrassed for it. It's very, very good. Like, I don't know how else to emphasize that. Like, it's such a necessary thing to happen, and I feel like you're just being silly. If you're still like, oh my god, it's corny to get therapy, like, you're being silly, and I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I'm a corny person, but not like that, you know what I mean? Not where it's gonna hurt people. Give men safe spaces to feel comfortable enough to open up. Don't try to sit there and be a safe space if you know that you are not emotionally available for that, or if you're not ready for that. If you don't know how to deal with emotions, that's completely fine. Not everyone can. Suggest them to go to therapy. Suggest them to talk to a friend of theirs. Guys, talk to each other. I recently heard a story from someone saying that him and his friends actually discuss shit and they talk about things, and I was like, wow, that's actually very inspiring. Like, I didn't know y'all did that. I don't know if you do that now. If like I've never been in a guy circle because I'm not a guy, but if y'all don't, start doing that, you know? I don't know, it could be fun. It could be fun. You could try talking to them and like talking about your emotions and shit. If that's just not you, that's not you, I guess. But just like, don't be scared. Don't bottle all that shit in until it explodes and then you're just dealing with it in the most like unhealthy way possible. Sorry if I'm looking away. I have like a mirror set up behind my ring light right now, which is holding my phone, so I can see myself and make sure I look decent in this camera. I'm gonna be really fucking mad if like it's not working, because the ring light is gonna be blocking my face perfectly, but I keep getting distracted. But yeah, let's just all be better human beings. That's really it. That's really it. That's all I have to say today. Thank you if you made it to the end. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your support. I'm for real, like, back on it. This took me a while to make. I was really like just feeling like I don't know, but I don't know, I feel like this is just, I just wanted to get this up there, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna hold this up too long because like I said, we can talk later about future plans and shit like that. Yeah, share this with your people. Make sure to like I said. Comment, do you agree? Was I just talking on my ass? I don't think so, but well, whatever. But obviously I don't. If you felt like some of these points were wrong or I wasn't hitting, or if you have a different perspective to add, please put that in the comments. Like, I genuinely want to hear what you have to say. And yeah, that's it, I guess. Share this with your brother, with your cousin, with your uncle, with your dad. I don't know. Share this with who you gotta share this with. If it's your boyfriend, if it's your boo, your partner, I don't care. Do what you gotta do. Your husband, you know? It could be like that. It'd be like that. Again, like, if you made it to the end and this is your first time here and you're like, that was kind of cool, like, you could subscribe. I don't know. Like, it could be fun. It could be, like, nice. Maybe the bell, too. The bell notification. That could be a nice little fun little Friday night like thing for you to do. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. Anyways, yes, in conclusion, love y'all. Thank you for watching. More of me to come soon, baby. I'm done talking. My throat hurts and I'm hungry and it's a beautiful day, so I'm gonna go outside. Yeah. Do you like my sweater, by the way? I got this from Tilly's, and I was like, okay, no, I'm not a Nirvana fan. Yes, you can shut the fuck up. I like the green. I'm liking the colorful. I was like, I need to spice up my wardrobe. It's mad black in here and shit. I'm done talking. You don't really care about this. All right, bye. Be better. Be a good human.